Hey everybody, welcome. Give you some time to join. Thank you, thank you. Hello everyone. It is Tuesday night. Hey Lori, thank you for joining. I'm gonna be bringing in MarkusFree in a moment. So I'm just gonna do a quick introduction. My name is Nubi, the ear hustler, and tonight we are ear hustling with MarkusFree, or Miss. I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. Mark Us Free, not Mr. MarkusFree. MarkusFree. He's going to be joining us this evening. We're going to be talking about his music, his career, his meditation. So bear with me. I'm going to go ahead and bring him in. Give me 2 seconds. To them. Thank you guys for joining. I appreciate you. My name is Nubi, the ear hustler, and we are ear hustling this evening with MarkusFree. I just sent him a request to join, and he should be on any second now. I hope everyone had a blessed day. Uh-oh, hey, you're sideways. And you're frozen. Yeah, so you're sideways. Thank you for joining, sticking to the script. Sticking to the script. Thank you all. Thank you, Shaban. Okay. All right. Now I can see you straight up and down.
You good?
Okay. So I'm just going to do a reset really quickly. My name is Nubi, the ear hustler. On the other side, I've got MarkusFree. Hey, Tara. Great to see you too, Gorilla. Okay, so you're a little, Marcus, you're kind of fuzzy.
I'm fuzzy. Hold
Yeah.
on, let's see.
So make sure your Wi-Fi is on. And when we get him together, while he gets himself together, I'm just going
What
to
about
talk.
now?
Yeah, you're still fuzzy. I'm not sure what's happening. Maybe it'll clear up as we go. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna start to introduce you and start our questions, and then we'll go from there. Okay? Hopefully it'll
Okay. It's
clear
still
up a little
fuzzy?
bit. Yeah, it's still fuzzy. I'm not really sure why. You know what? Go back out and come back in. I'm gonna go back out and I'm gonna send you another request. All right. Thank you guys for your patience. Yes, that's exactly what I'm going to do. I had him go out and come back in. Thank you. You know, this Wi-Fi stuff is kind of iffy. So I'm going to give him a few minutes to join again. Thank you everyone for joining. I'm sure you could be anywhere else, so I appreciate you. I hope you all had a great, great day. Okay, let's see if he's coming back in. Okay, I've sent the request, and he will be back in 3, 2, 1, hopefully. All right, I've sent them the request. Come on, Markus. We're rooting for you. Okay, I sent him another request. That boy Gift, thank you for joining. Okay, I just requested you. It says you're unable to join. Let's try it one more time. Okay, I just sent you another request. There you go.
We good?
Yes, much better.
There we go.
All right.
Is
So
this Feedback, is it better if I talk about the line?
There's a little reverb
I'll say that for
until, okay. So again, yes, this is going to be a great interview. The enemy is pissed off right now. Thank you.
Come on now.
That's right. That's right. So I'm Nubi the Ear Hustler, and tonight I have MarkusFree with us. We are going to talk to him about his music, what he's doing, what he's been up to, and so let's get it started. So please tell us a little bit about where you hail from, and if you grew up in a household where music was, basically you were exposed to music at a young age.
I hail from, and that's a good word to use, hail from, East Point. That's the south side of Atlanta. Just to draw it in, like Outkast, like I'm an Andre 3000 type of, like that's my area. Outkast, Young Thug, Candy, like that area, like really southern areas. So that's East Point, that's the south side of Atlanta. I grew up in a household that was very heavy Christian, very religious. I went to Tuesday night prayer, Friday night shut in, YPW, WPP, HPP, you name it, I was there.
Serious?
Yeah, everything. They made me play keys, they made me play drums, they made me sing, and that's really where I honed everything by default. And like people on here who grew up in that church atmosphere can relate. Like you're gonna play something, you're gonna sing something. It just so happened I already kind of naturally had that because my grandfather was a singer, and they tried to take him and tour. And I was talking to my mother, and I found this out. They tried to take him to go tour around the country to sing, but he ended up going into pastoring. So,
wow.
Like Christian music, I had to sneak and listen to all my R&B.
Wow.
I had to, I would do stuff like at church. I would tweak R&B records into gospel songs.
Wow.
Yeah, I would definitely be doing that.
So the secular music was a tough sell in the family.
As we get later on tonight, to actually dive into my secular industry career, I actually had to run away from home. I actually had to, and it's emotional. I had to be by myself for like years and just pursue music. No support from the family. No, you gonna make it. None of that. It was just like me and my team. And
wow.
It was a tough season, but I made it through. So this is a victorious story.
Yes. Okay, so who were your musical inspirations? Now you talked about tweaking R&B songs and whatnot while you were, supposed to be churching.
Yes. Yes.
Who were your inspirations at that time?
That's what the good at that time, because it's changed so much.
Yes.
In that season, my inspirations were like the obvious, the Fred Hammonds, the John P. Keys, and this was like old music by the time I was listening to it, but these were my inspirations. Mm-hmm. And definitely Jagged because I'm from Atlanta. I can remember running in Outkast. I can remember being at basketball court, and a lot of this is in my write-up. I can remember being outside playing basketball, and they be having Stankonia playing. They be having Outkast playing, and I'm like, what is that? By the time I'm hearing it, it's like old. Because, I wasn't getting fresh secular music.
Right.
But it tweaked my ear to like, oh, so there's more to music than just gospel. And it made me curious. That's when it first put that taste in my mouth, like, man, Jagged Edge, that's different. A 4-part harmony. I've heard of harmonies, but gospel harmony is totally different than secular harmonies. They just finesse the notes more. So that I would say those were my influences during that time. But it's shifted so much since then.
That's beautiful. I think, we don't realize how much we're exposed to coming up and what really affects us until later on in life when you kind of take retrospective and look back.
Yes.
So thank you for sharing that.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Now, you also mentioned in your write-up that, you kind of went through some other tribulations.
Yes.
Talk to us about how, I'm going to say, adulting changed you and your music and your creating the music.
Before I did music, I was a very selfish artist, and I'm using this word. And as we have this interview, people, be open in the words that I'm using. these words I'm using are the only thing I can say so we can get this conversation moving. But I was very selfish in my music, in a sense. It was very what I could take from music. Girl, let me get that boat, like, you know, lay that body, like, you know, it was that. And there's nothing against it. There's a place for it, but that was my whole being. I was living it out. And I don't want to get off track from the question, but where I'm at now, I can remember being on the road. We was on the Scream tour. I was in this group, and we was at some club, and I can remember going into the bathroom. We was geeked. Like we hadn't had some, and I'm just gonna be. Can I talk transparent with this?
Yes, freely.
Okay.
Curse whatever you need to do to get it out.
We had to took some lean. We was smoking on the way to the club because this is when, you know, we was doing our walkthrough stuff. And we was smoking on the way to the club, and I was in the section just drinking. And I can remember going to the bathroom, and I don't know if it was because I was drunk, because, you know, you're honest with yourself when you're drunk. And I can remember just crying, like, this is it. Like, I worked this hard to just do this. Like, that was it. That's the peak of my career. And I can just remember, I couldn't get out because I was under contract. And I can remember, but my manager was such a great mentor. I can remember just going to him saying, like, what's the next step? And he's like, I got you. I know where we're going. But that kind of molded what I knew I wanted to become, because I called myself something else. I didn't call myself MarkusFree. I had a totally different name. I'm not going to say what it was.
Okay.
But I had a totally nasty, committed to it name. And if you ever go look up some old stuff, you would see. Okay. But going through that season, I ran away from music after that. We hopped off the tour. The paperwork was getting kind of weird, as major labels do with acts who were moving up. And they're like, no, you're going to do what we're telling you to do. We were like, this was like when 106 was really popping, E-News, VH1. Like, it was trending. And I was maybe home maybe 2 months out of that whole 5-year period of just grinding. And I remember saying, I want to walk away. And I just walked away. I disappeared from everybody. And I just became, as I hate this word, but I became like a common citizen. I wasn't chasing anything. I would just, you know, get up and go to work. And again, another epiphany went off. And I ended up getting married. And man, I've never really told this story. And I ended up getting married. And I can remember at work, like, a fork can do what a spoon does, but it can't do it as good as a fork. Like, a fork can scoop up cereal. It wasn't made to, but it can. I wasn't being me. A cow could run with horses, but that ain't what it's designed to do. It's designed to give you milk. So I started realizing, like, I can work here, but am I really being used the proper way in this world? And that's when I really started jumping back into music, and a lot of people around me. And one of my girls, she's on here too, Tasia, that's when we circle back around to the HP stuff, and she would really encourage, like, oh, I love the new music. But it still wasn't this. It still wasn't this. And so I went through a divorce. And in that quiet time, when I pretty much lost everything, but I had my daughter, and it started showing me what was most important. Like, fatherhood is so important. I went to go get a book, and the book was called Fatherhood. And I'm thinking I'm getting a book about fatherhood to my daughter. And this was about fathers to men. I mean, men to women, and how we father women, and not in a belittling way, but just in being a sustainer. And it began to shift me. That's why, like, on my keyboard right here, I keep a picture of her just so I can stay focused. I don't ever want to get too spiritual to where I don't tie it back into why I'm doing this. Because sometimes we're super spiritual that we don't put the work in.
Right.
You still got to come back and put this work in. And with that process, it just became, I was like, what should I call myself? And I was like, and I realized it shouldn't be a name, it should be a title. So my name is MarkusFree. So it's really not my name. It's more of a title, more of a brand. I don't own it in a sense, like, it's me. If you rock with MarkusFree, you rocking with yourself. So
you better own it. You better own it. And you better go ahead and get that trademark, and you better go do what you do. Hey, Tasia, thank you for supporting. Listen, let me tell you something. Number one, thank you for sharing that. I know you said there's some stuff that you have not shared.
Yes.
I think that in retrospect, again, and I use retrospect a lot because we have to be reflective. You know, we have to be able to look back and learn and grow. And if we don't, then we're just stagnant, right? That's it. So MarkusFree is, to me, all encompassing. There's so much that you can do with that. So you own it, you take it, you run with it, You smack people in the face with it.
Hey,
You
come on.
do what you got to do with it,
Yes,
my brother.
yes.
Yes. I'm telling you, you will be beyond successful.
Yes,
So you are welcome.
yes.
So now you mentioned HP.
Yes.
Tell us just a little bit about what HP stands for and what that was about and at that time in your life.
Well, it sure don't stand for helping people. HP was called Hamilton Park. They're my brothers. I love them to death. Chris and Royce and Anthony. We actually grew up in this industry together. We came in this industry like as teenagers and got our first deal together. And we hopped on the road the moment. It's like you work hard for a window, but then I get why they say overnight success. Because when it happened, Andre Harrell signed us to Atlantic Records. He came down to our house. And we had been rehearsing. We didn't know what for. We had been practicing. We had no clue. And this is why I tell people, nothing manifests until you start, until you do it. Once you do it, it happens. So we didn't know what we were going towards. We would rehearse. We would record songs. We had like 3 albums worth of music. And we never knew what it was leading to. And that night, all that preparation, all that back work was like, boom. He kept hearing record after record after record after record. If people don't know Andre Harrell, he did Jodeci.
Yes.
Thank you. So when he saw us, cause we hood boys, but we sing.
Right.
We was like little hood. Like I grew up in East Point. Chris grew up in the hood in Bama. Royce grew up in the hood in Missouri. Like we all grew up in our own little areas of the hood, not like regular R&B guys. So he saw that and saw the roughness of it, but the vocal was so gospel and R&B blended that he signed us. And I want to say I remember we had fasted the week before we met Andre. And fasted a minute and prayed. And he signed us that night. He didn't even leave the house until he signed us. So he signed us. And shout out to Frame, man. That's our old manager. Signed us that night. And I want to say, I remember getting my check. And I always wanted to do this. Because, you pay your tithe. And my peoples was pastoring the church. So what happened was I went to the bank. And we had a deal before that, but they didn't pay this much. So this deal, we got some nice change. So I went and took my little tithe and I balled it all up in rubber bands. And I walked into my parents' church and just dropped all my tithe on the desk. And I've never seen my mama, because she knew what I went through to get to that point. She knew that they didn't rock with what I did as far as the music. And when I saw the look in her eye, I was like, yeah, I'm really about to be an artist. Like, this is what I'm about to do for my living. But fast forward some years, it was just like it went down the wrong way. HP started off right, but I didn't do the right things with it. And that's why I want to tell people, when your vision happens, stay the course so you don't have to go back and repeat steps. And this is me repeating, but God is going to give me more. And I don't mean that in a religious aspect. I mean that in more of a spiritual walk. When you really surrender yourself, the doors open, like open. So that was that. When I left Atlantic Records, I wasn't supposed to say that. When I left the label, it's just like, I began my spiritual walk, and it just took me to a place. And I met my brother who manages me now, Dre, and me and him have so many conversations about the past. Because the second leg around, Dre has wrote, and I'm not gonna put his business out, but he has wrote some big records that y'all listen to now. And I'm not gonna put his business out because he's a very humble, like, no, don't do that. But he's wrote some huge records, and for him to come in the second time around, I got back with HP. He did the whole project. Wow! But yet again, that's not what I was supposed to be doing. So And I want to put this little negative before I hand it back over. You can do things that are good. Like, it'd have been good if Jesus had pastored the church. That would have been good. But would he have served his purpose? So people with good hearts and people with goals, it's never the bad things that's going to trip us up. It's the good things that may distract us from our purpose. So that was good that I was doing that with my brothers, but my purpose is MarkusFree.
And you talk about season, right? Season and reasons go hand in hand, right?
Yes.
Like, you have friends for a season and friends for a reason. So I can appreciate that and understand that wholeheartedly. You manifest what you want. You manifest your relationships. I'm learning at 50 about manifestation.
Ooh, what, you looking good? Okay.
Thank you.
Drinking your water.
I just turned, but I just say that to say that half a century, and you're kind of like, wow. Like, even me doing this, I jumped out on faith. I kept talking about it. My fiance kept saying, do it. But then I was just like, and then one day I just hit somebody up and said, hey, you need a guest. You need another host, rather, to host with the person that you had, which snowballed into me doing my own thing. So I do 2 shows, but I just said it to say that I had to jump. I couldn't just keep trying to plan in my head and being fearful of success.
We can get stuck in planning. We feel safe in planning.
Right. So we're not gonna get all preachy. But I appreciate the understanding. You know what I mean? And sometimes life takes you through that.
Yes.
So, all right, we're gonna keep it pushing. We talked about HP.
Yes.
Now, I want to talk just a little bit about what I've seen you do recently, because I'm finding out about you in the last few months.
Okay.
Meditation.
Yes.
You incorporate that with your music. You incorporate Baby Girl with that. Tell us about that process and how it helps you create.
Since I'm in this phase of my life, I'm big on not being fake as an artist. I don't want to be given something. I want to be me. Free. I want to be free, which is where that record comes from. And just even my brand, even my music. I was making music for something, like for the radio, for people, for the clubs. I said, stop making stuff for people and for the music, for clubs. Just make music. And one of my close friends, his name is Matt. He's in the internet. And we grew up together. And Matt was like, Marcus, when you start producing, watch your music go to another place. He told me that 2 years ago. And I was like, nah, man, I'm not doing that's too much work. I love songwriting. I'm just going to songwrite. But the moment I picked up, because I always could play chords, but the moment I really picked up producing and like making my own music, Logan came through me. Being a black man started to come through me. Like I could be me and I could be free. This is why that record is so important to me. I could just make what I want to make. I didn't have to, I don't use 808s, and that's very intentional. I want and I went and looked this stuff up for seasons. I would just study sound, and like that's why when certain people, and that's why I know when it locks into the mass, it's gonna go crazy, because I'm intentional with chord patterns. So when you hear it, it creates a certain emotion. So when you hear a kick pattern, like I only use neo soul kick patterns, and not because I want to create a neo soul vibe. There are certain vibrations that come from a neo soul kick pattern, and I just want to be very intentional with that. And a lot of times, my messaging, the type of messaging I have, is only used in church. But the type of melody I have maybe only used in R&B. I was like, I'm not finna think of myself as nothing. I'm just gonna make music. And it came out like this. That's why I do have sensual records. But it's all in meditation. It's all in peace. Like the moment I quiet myself and understood the power of meditation, and I think I grew up in church and they push praying so much. But scripture says fast and meditate. And then when I understood meditation, it kind of released the ideal of religion. It kind of like opened my mind up. And I'm going to be honest, I took some shrooms. I went on a couple trips. And in those trips, I just began to see life like in a different, like that. I can't even see religion no more. Like, that's why I keep I keep my Buddha, but I believe Jesus died for my, it's just like, religion is a division mechanism, and I don't believe in anything that is a mechanism that separates me from my next brother who's my complexion, or that is not my complexion. You know, so I'm really big on that. And my daughter, I want her, and I teach her. And it's not that I'm anti other races. I'm just pro her, pro us. And sometimes that can be taken the wrong way. It's like I'm encouraging because I'm big on my daughter. Like, look, we watching Black YouTube. We watching Black. And it's funny. We was in the store one day. She was like, Daddy, can I watch white YouTube? Girl, chill. Don't ask me that. Got me looking racist. But raising a woman, it changed me. Like, I remember she was born. One of my projects is out on SoundCloud, 1117. I could hear the change in my music. Sometimes I go back and play old stuff. I can hear the change. And so, like, my daughter and this meditation has taken my life and my thinking to a whole different place. Like a paradigm shift. It's like where I saw the number 3, now I can see W. Like, I see it all. Like, I can see multiple ways of viewing life. And that's what, meditation plays a big part in that. I remember there was a season I could not wait to just go sit and quiet myself. I mean, I still look forward to that, but it's more of I know I need to do this. Okay. And that's why I really want mental health is serious. And meditation definitely helps with a lot of like struggles you may deal with. A lot of this hidden agenda going on TV. You
Yeah,
know.
we're being fed a lot of information, good, bad, and different.
Yep.
You know, I've tried meditation, and I can't get my brain to be still. So I'm working
And
on
that's
it.
not even your fault.
Right. It's because we are inundated, whether it's personal, work, TV,
Come on.
whatever it is. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? I realize music.
Yes.
We
Yeah.
are inundated.
The frequencies in the popular music now,
Yeah.
like.
There's definitely a shift. And you know what? There usually is a shift every 5 to 8 years, right?
He's been doing that research, especially. There is, yes. We're in
Yeah,
right now.
yeah, you know, so and things come back around. So I think that, you know, this is your time to shine. I think,
Thank
you
you.
know, this is I interviewed Eric Roberson, you know,
Yes.
I was trying not to go too hard with a specific genre of music because I love all music, but
Yes.
I always tend to go to the neo soul, you know,
Mm.
or the indie soul, and it's what you just said. It's about the vibe. It's about
Yeah.
how that music makes you feel.
I mean, if
And
you pay attention, like indirectly, the offsprings of those artists are what's winning now. Your Hers, your Summer, like they're the tribe of those neo souls. Like I'm a tribe. I'm from that tribe.
Mhm.
Lucky's from that tribe. Like that's what's winning now. The earth is paying attention.
Well, you know it's funny. You mentioned her. I have not listened to any of her music.
I'm telling you. Go back to her first albums and just come up.
I'm gonna have to because there was something. I mean, at first I heard a little something, and it was something about her. I loved her voice. Don't get me wrong,
Yes.
but the music in my head just was like, I don't know if I'm hearing what she's so talented. You know, I mean,
I would
don't get me
definitely
wrong.
not don't listen to her commercial records, I call them. Listen to her deep cuts. Like
And that's kind of where I think I was. And then I saw her perform, and she's talented with the guitar. I mean, she's dope. Don't get me wrong.
girls a
I know
beat.
what she is, but
Yes.
there was something that wasn't clicking. And I just told my girlfriend this the other day. I have not listened to her, so I'm going to just on your suggestion alone. I'm gonna go and listen to her and check her out.
Yes.
We ain't talking about her right now. We talking about so. In terms of what you put out, do you write your own music?
Yes, I write all my music.
Okay.
I can't risk nobody else getting my message out. And it's not that they would write something. I'm open to write with other writers. Like I'm definitely open. But in this season, you definitely have to go through a season where you stamp yourself. And I'm in that season where I have to stamp myself. And so since I've been doing that, now people send me more records. Like, hey bro, I got a song for you. Or hey bro, I got, you know. So it took me taking that and saying, no, I'm gonna write my own, I'm gonna produce my own records and see where it lands. And since I've been doing that, more people have been wanting to help. It's like
Wow.
you put the work, more people will want to help. And that's the thing. I was afraid that this message wouldn't be popular. And the moment I released trying to be popular and said, I just want to help. And that's why I made the comment, I don't want to be a selfish artist. When you listen to my music, I want you to walk away with something, whether you feel better, whether you love your girl more, whether you love your man more, whether you want to be a better father. Even if someone say, if it's how I look, how I cameras, I want you to walk away. Or if it's more fashion, because I love dressing. I want you to walk away with something. I don't want to just be like, look at me, I'm this. Like, I think we're in that era where we praise the artist, but the artist is supposed to be a servant, you know?
Mm. And I think that, I was watching, your live videos and things like that. And, when I just asked if you would do the interview, part of my thought process was I want men to also join this. You know
Yes.
what I'm saying? Because when you start talking about, hey, Lena, when you start talking about spiritual behavior or practices, meditation, that's not just because you look good or you dress a certain way, you appeal to women maybe more, but men can get the same message.
Yes.
So,
I
I'm hoping that,
want to get it
yeah,
alongside of the women, but because
yeah.
we've been finessed in our thinking, the men, like, oh, we've been so finessed. And it's so subtle, though. It took years, but it's so subtle.
And it doesn't matter as long as it comes. You know
Yes.
what I mean? I think and the right message will reach the right people at the right time. So this
Yes.
is dope. I'm so appreciating this conversation.
Thank you. I
Yes.
appreciate you reaching
No
out.
problem. Thank you.
Yes.
So if you had the ideal collaboration? I want you to give me two artists. Now they don't have to be singers or rappers. They can be a band. It can
Dead
be.
or can it, what if they dead?
Hmm?
What if they're dead?
That's fine.
Okay.
It's somebody that you wanted to do a collaboration with at some point, and then they passed on, and then that's okay. But it can be, like I said, anything or any type of musical collaboration. Who would it be and why? Two. I need two.
Two. First, let me shout out to my girl. She's a beast singer too. She's over here clowning. Jay Latoya. She's a beast vocally. Like
Jay Latoya.
I see her.
Know if you want to
she just did something with Wanye. She just did something with Wanye, and she paid humble. Yeah.
Dope.
I see her cracking jokes. That's why. I would say I have to go back. I'm sorry, Prince passed before I could get big enough. I wanted to work with Prince so bad. This monster of a being could play all his sounds. And if I don't know if people ever tapped into Prince, like he was tapped. He was very aware, owning your own stuff, owning your rights, making your own, like, so definitely Prince for that reason. And I can't stray from it. I'm from East Point. 3 Stacks. Like, I'm going to work with 3 Stacks. Okay. I'm going to work with 3 Stacks. Okay. We both from Cleveland. He grew up off Cleveland East. He went to Tri-Cities. I was supposed to go to Tri-Cities, but I was a troubled child in middle school, so they shipped me up to the north side of my life, north side for high school of my life. And so 3 Stacks, under 3,000 from Outkast and Prince.
Yeah, now, Prince, I mean...
Oh, my boy everywhere in here. He's a beast too. Man, you got all the talent tapping in. Go ahead.
Everywhere. Thank you for joining. So you said Prince, Andre 3000, and now everywhere. So Prince, I think, was one of the most sought after artists to collaborate with.
Yes.
Because he was such a great mind and he thought outside of the box. Andre 3000, I used to have a super crush on. But he was so different. Yeah.
You gonna make me play these chords.
Listen, he is so
he was
different.
a monster. His thinking.
Everything is different. He is your creator's creator.
Yes.
And
yes.
Absolutely love him. And everywhere, I'm gonna look you up and I'm gonna find out what would make MarkusFree say, I want to collaborate with him. So I'm gonna check you out too, brother.
Check him out. I'm not lying.
Yes.
Check him out. When I say free spirit, check him out. The boy, we ain't gonna spend time on him because he's in here. I don't want to blow his head up because he's humble. Oh, hold on. I'm sorry. Like, all the talent is in here right now. I don't think you get. You got Tomei in here. Like,
hey Tomei, thank you for joining.
Beast.
I'm gonna have to get interviews with all of y'all.
Yes.
All of y'all.
Beast.
It's gonna be like the Atlanta crew.
Now Tomei is international. She's over in Canada.
Okay, that's cool. I got people in Toronto. We
can so too. She. I'm a little behind Tomei everywhere, so I gotta get my weight up. You know.
Yeah, no. Listen, hey. Yeah. So I'm just gonna reset the room real quickly for those who have joined. I'm Nubi the Ear Hustler. We are ear hustling tonight with MarkusFree. He is blessing us with some jewels, sharing his story. And we're going to keep things going because I got to get him to do some things for us in a little bit. So in terms of writing your music, raising a baby girl, what do you think, aside from an us against them type of thing, what do you think are your biggest challenges when it comes to not only creating music for yourself, but creating music that she can enjoy as well?
I'll say this. I was out to eat with my mother. We was hanging out Sunday, all day Sunday, because she had to preach Sunday. Mm-hmm. So after she preached, I like to just kick it with her. And you have to ask me that question again, because this ties into that, but I can get lost sometimes. The moment I saw her support me as an artist, and she spoken to me Sundays like, God's about to do it. And not even in a religious aspect, just as in us being spirits wrapped in his flesh. She's like, it's about to happen. And I could comprehend what she meant by that. It's because I stopped caring about working this way, and I started working from this way. If you work from this way, meaning people telling you what to do, telling you how to write, telling you what your sound is, you'll be always chasing.
But wait a second, before you even go any further, your body language, when you said this, you know what I thought of?
What?
Takers and givers.
Exactly.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Once I came from a giving aspect, I was able to just tap into a sound that I've been wanting to do. The crazy part, I've been wanting to do this sound, but could not. I didn't know how to do it. I was so busy. I was so like, and occasionally I do be getting gassed up, but I was just in it too much to where it was a distraction. I was just too, and that's why I say, even as I talk in the spiritual element, and I do love meditation, we have to pull it out of spiritual realm and bring it into life. Like, it has to become chords. It has to become flesh. It has to become body. And like the moment I did that, it just, it became its own thing. It became free meditation,
And tie that back into what your daughter listens to and how you approach her with the music.
And that's a big part of the music too. I always said I want to make something that she can be proud of. Because like I say, I know people say I'm raising my daughter, but I'm raising a woman in essence, because she's, I always say she's a child for maybe 12 years of her life, but she's going to be grown forever. So I'm raising a woman. And I wrote a song. It's on my project. Shout out to you, Obu. You got some actors in here too. Him and his brother did something amazing.
Shout out, Obu.
Yes, amazing on the big screen. Like, I'm not playing. All this stuff I'm saying is not bluff. You can go look this up. But raising my daughter, it really showed me. I wrote a song. Me and my bro Dre wrote a song called "Know Your Worth," and it's pretty much, it was like, you know how you put those letters in a bottle and it goes into sea and it floats. It was the ideal of writing it like that. Like, if I was to die and I wrote it down a note and I put it in a bottle and she grows up and this bottle makes it to her, what would I want her to know? What would she need to know? What jewels could I leave to her without being so direct? Because nowadays you can't be so direct. You got to be a little subliminal with your approach to it. So it's called Know Your Worth. And like, I won't go through all the lyrics, but it's pretty much talking like how you engage with a man, how you make sure you go to school, how you make sure you put some knowledge in here. Don't count on all of this. How you make sure, it was just pretty much, but it was flyly done. It was like sauced up. Like, go listen to it. The record hard. It was when I was using my 808, so it got a very urban, mainstream radio vibe to it. But that was like, I see my daughter, and I want to be a great artist. Don't take me. I want all that God has for me. Like, I want it all. But I want her more. I want her, and I just got to pull this up. She ain't get small no more. But I keep this every record I write. I use a Roland to produce my music, but every record I write, every record I produce, I keep this on my keyboard. And it just reminds me, like, you're not doing this to be the most talented. You're doing this it's a Logan somewhere else. It's a Logan that don't have me, so I got to be me to reach her. It's a Logan that's probably 30, that's probably 50, that's probably 25. And then once you get a hold of my music, it's upon me to now take her somewhere versus just, meet her at a show. Hey, what's up, girl? Now, granted, I ain't gonna lie now. I'm still human. But the goal is to overcome that consistently and give, not just give it to Logan, but give it to more people, more women who are like Logan. Like, I keep saying it. I want to be a great artist. I want to be huge. But I want to do something that when she gets older, she like, look how my daddy left this. He left this for me.
I love her name, Logan. I love it.
That's yes. Now her mom came with she was like, what can we call her? Because, we looking at paperwork. We like, we don't want her to be on paper. And they be like, nah, you don't know if she black or white now.
Right.
So, we still got to play the game, though. You still got to play the game.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So talk to us about your EP, Free Meditation.
Yes. It kind of made itself, which is interesting. So this past summer, it's crazy. I worked on like a whole bunch of records for the past year since I left the group. And the records I worked on are not the records that is this project. I went out to Matt's, my homeboy, and he has a spot off the lake. And I don't record it a lot because he's very to himself. And so I was just out there working, and these records just started coming. Like, usually when I go out there, it's just for me to regain my energy, quiet myself, get out on the water, just relax. And this time around this year when I was going out there, it was just like creating was just coming. like the chords were just like so like it just felt right. I was like, I gotta lay this down. And so what happened was I did free.
Mm-hmm.
Then I started, and I produce everything first before I write anything, because I don't want to be writing and producing. So I produce it all first, and I just ride with the beat for like that.
Mm.
And so he walked in the room. He was like, and his ear is very judgmental. He walked in the room, was like, bruh, that shit right there, that's hard.
Ooh.
And I was like, that's hard. Because I was just making music. I wasn't trying to say, I'm going to put this out. I was just making music.
Right.
He's like, that shit hard. I was like, okay, bet. So I didn't go to sleep that night. I think I stayed up for like the overnight and then that whole next day. And then we got in the car to go do some stuff and came back and got on the water. I was like, now I'm going to go back and create. And that's when I started coming up with these other records on the project like Angel. Then I linked up with my boy Swanky. He did Susu for Jadenim. And he gave me a record. And that's the beautiful part. Since I have this industry background, everybody that is blessing this project is at a caliber of quality. And when y'all hear, y'all love Free, bruh. When y'all hear Shores, because I didn't do Shores, Swanky did Shores. And when y'all hear Shores, oh my goodness. I don't have words to form it. So we have Free, Shores, Angel. Angel is the vibe too. Angel's one of them records you wake up in the morning, your girl got her stank breath. You got your stank breath. You just reach over, Siri, play Angel, and y'all just lay in bed, look at each other before you even get up. You not even get out the bed that morning. You just got that on loop. Like, man, this feel good. And it's just about land. It's like one of them the sun shining through type of days. And I use a lot of nature in my lyrics.
Okay.
It's just like one of the things you just lay in the bed with your girl, and you just look at like, man, you just so beautiful. Or she just looks at him like, nigga, you just so fine. And then y'all meet in the middle, and that energy is like, man, let's just lay here and play this record all day and just watch Netflix and just. Matter of fact, let's watch Netflix on mute and just let the record play. It's like one of them vibes. So that's Angel. And then I have one more I want to put on there, but I'm debating it. And that's Thank You. And Thank You is just a straight spiritual vibe where I just show my gratitude for my vision finally happened. I sung it last night on my free meditation. And it just, you know, I always want to set an atmosphere. Like whenever you hear a record, it's going to put you in something. So like if you play it in your car, it's going to make you want to roll your window down. Feel that wind. If you play it in the home, it's gonna make, man, let me clean something. Open these windows up. Let some sun in. If you play it at night, you're gonna be like, man, let me sit down and read a book. Like it's gonna put you in the vibe. So
okay. Well, I'm looking forward to all of it. How many songs on an EP?
For this EP, we want to do 4, but I'm gonna see how I feel. Like I have them all done. All these records are completed, but it's just me picking because I want it to be a trip. Even though it's a quick trip, I want it to be a trip that you keep playing over and over and over again. So they got them married because I like this part. I won't have my mother on there. I'm not gonna tell you how, but she's on the project. Well, I'll tell you a little bit. And I never knew this. I knew it because I guess I can remember a little bit. She tells this story to me all the time about how when I was 4 years old, I preached this message to her about the Black Heart. And so I was like, Mom, that'd be dope if I can get you on the project telling that story to the people. And so she's gonna be on the project. I got Logan on there talking. I got my pops on there praying. It's just like, it's a holistic project. It's like you can make love to it. You can pray to it. You can clean your house to it. You can ride out to it. It's just like, it puts you in your vibe. So it's
well-rounded.
Yes. Thank you. Well-rounded. Very well-rounded.
And I think the attention span these days for, 12 songs and 15 songs, I think.
Bruh, you gotta be Drake and even then, Drake's smart enough to say 3.
Right.
You know, so that's one dope part about my management. 6442. When I say he geeks out on information, he will geek out on something like, bro, I'm not leaving the house today because I need to learn this marketing. And I could just be an artist because he knows how to take and mold it like this, how it needs to be. So I don't have to dumb it down. I've had management that was good. And shout out to my girl Joy. She's been a great manager with HP, but my management now, 6442, it's I can, what's the best way to, I'm a weird artist. I'm very weird.
You're not weird. You're just different. And I think
I'm different. I love that. Thank you.
Yeah, you need to be unique and you need to be free to create. And so having the right team helps you to be free to create.
Yes, ma'am. Yes. I received that. And he's mastered the way where I can just be me and just allow this whole free meditation to become an experience. Like the live show, I'm not going to say much. I'm not. But he took me to see Kanye, and he wanted me to experience the vibe. And when we got in there, it wasn't a cheap experience. When we got in there, I was like, I see what I need to do. Like, I see it. Like, I see it. Like, it was like,
just don't come on with a sock over your face, please. A stocking,
I'm dead, not the sock. No, we're not doing no socks. We're not doing no socks. But one thing what I took from it was people are dying for an experience. It's the day of just coming and you do your set and you get off stage. I never wanted to be the artist where I say, "Whoo, I made it through that." I want to live in it. I want to take 5 minutes and it's like, what just happened?
Right.
If I go somewhere, you give me 5 minutes, I'm gonna spend 2 of them setting the vibe, and I'm gonna spend 1 minute of it ending the vibe. 2 minutes, you're just gonna get a great vibe. So it's just like a pre-embody, and like it's very intentional with the approach to my, my stage.
As it should be. I think even now with the pandemic, people are looking for experience.
Yes.
So, us doing a live, they have virtual concerts, they have all kinds of things that go on that you can engage the fan and they will appreciate it so much. People are craving interaction. So
you know who really woke that up a lot? Nip, when he had what it was like fan appreciation, when you like, if you appreciate it, pay for it. I forget the proper name, but Nip really brought it to the forefront.
And something you also said reminds me of a conversation I had with Wise Intelligent from Poor Righteous Teachers about dumbing down music, dumbing down our artistry. Those are, because people, and I say people, really, the corporate arena doesn't understand our music. They tend to do everything but what they're supposed to do with it.
It's an agenda. And I hate to be, I'm not talking this commercial conspiracy word. I hate that.
No, it's not. That's reality.
But it's definitely an agenda. Like, how else do you keep money in circulating areas? How do you keep neighborhoods circulating a certain way? It's an agenda. That's like when I saw the record played at a school, I was like, yes. Now let's run. Now let's work.
Right.
It's reaching as kids. It's time to go. I'm not turning back now. I'm not. Right. It's on. So.
Right. I think they constantly, they're trying to always put, even just people in general, they're always trying to group us. Neo soul, this soul, that soul.
Yes.
That came about from Kedar years ago when he was in management and A&R, and they couldn't figure out how to package Afro beats, certain rhythms. That's how Neo soul came about, that term. So I just think that you have to do you, like you said, perform for you, love what you're doing, put it out, and they will come.
Yes.
So I'm not even going to go any further. I'm going to ask you because I'm dying to hear you, and I want to be able to present you to anyone that's following me to your talents. Oh, no doubt. And hopefully you will get more fans, more input, more buy-in, whatever it is. So I would love for you to perform something for us, whatever your heart desires. Again, everybody who's joined, I am Nubi the Ear Hustler.
Nubi.
You are here with me and MarkusFree. And he's going to bless us now with his talents and lay it down. I'm focused.
I usually lay it down a different way. Give me 1 second. Let me fix it.
No worries. Take your time. Again, I just want to say thank you all for joining. You have a great support system. I see that in the comments. So thank you all. I'll be reaching out to you guys if you're interested in doing an interview. Let's do it. I would love to be able to expose you and your music and your talents to anybody who's willing to listen. This is what I'm about.
So, luckily, I know how to play the keys because my whole system just went down.
Uh-oh. Okay, that's all right.
So instead of doing, can y'all hear those keys?
Yes.
Instead of doing a single, I'm gonna do this new song I've been working on called "Thank You." I did it yesterday, and just let me set it real quick.
Yes, of course.
wake up in the morning, thank God for the day. I'ma let the sun shine in, and I'm on my way. Thank God for the blessings that He gave. Soon as I surrender to your will, I'm so grateful for this life that you gave. I see my visions getting clearer each day. I can't believe my visions finally coming true. I will never doubt you anymore. And I just want to say thank you. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Thank you for all that you've done. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for all that you've done for me. Eyes haven't seen, ears haven't heard, things you have in store for me. Thank you, Nubi, so much for this opportunity. I'm trying to refrain because I'm such an emotional singer.
No, I love it. This is what I want. This is how I mean, I want the viewers to be engaged. I want you to gain more fans. I want to feel the vibe. I want the organic you. So I appreciate you doing this. I'm going to ask you to sing one for me that you've been singing, and it's not your song, but I absolutely love the song, and I love what you do with it, which is the Daniel Caesar song.
Okay.
You can just sing a little bit of it. You don't have to sing the whole thing, but that song and
Which
the way
one? Get You?
yeah, the one I don't even know the name of it right now.
I think it's Get You. Hold on.
But you've been singing it, and I know he did it also with a young lady that was also on it.
Oh, Best Part.
Yes, I couldn't think of it. Yes, Best Part. Thank you.
There we go.
Thank you, JBC.
Oh, JBC. Shout out to JBC. That's my pastor.
Thank you, Pastor, for joining.
Yes. Hold on, gotta get these chords.
Take your time.
I just wanna see how beautiful you are. You know that I see it. I know you're a star. Where you go, I follow, no matter how far. If life is a movie, then you're the best part. Oh, you're the best part. Oh, if you love me, won't you say something? If you love me, won't you? Oh, if you love me, won't you say something? If you love me, won't you? Love me, won't you? If you love me, won't you say something? If you love me, won't you say something? If you love me, won't you say something? If you love me, won't you say? I just want to see how beautiful you are. You know that I see you. I know you're a star. Where you go, I follow, no matter how far. If life was a movie, then you're the best part. Oh, you're the best part.
Boy, you better sing.
Oh, best part.
Let me tell you something, brother. Thank you for blessing us. That song, Thank You, free. I'm looking for all of your music. I'm waiting You hear me?
Thank you.
I'm
Yes.
gonna be checking in with you and saying, okay, what you doing? And when you're ready to release the EP, come back. We'll do another interview.
Always. Oh, this is the build. This is the beginning.
Yes.
This is the beginning.
Yes. I
Yes.
just want to say thank you, everyone, for joining. Markus, it was a great conversation. I won't call it an interview.
Yes.
Thank you for the dialogue. Thank you for talking to us about the meditation. Thank you for sharing the story behind your daughter, your mom, your life, your experience. You got to come back. Thank you all for watching.
Yes. Thank y'all. Yes.
This has been a great interview, conversation, discussion. We're going to bring you back. You just let me know when you're ready, okay?
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. I want to say thank you to you because here's the funny part. I'm going to be quick. Me and my master was working on a project, and there was no goal to chase down media, but it was divine, you know. So it was divine. And
let me tell you something. One hand washes the other.
Yes.
I'm building up. I'm gonna build up people. I sow seeds. I try to help everyone I can.
Yes.
I'm a genuine person. So anyone that's in the comment section, you guys have music you want to talk about, you want to put out there organically, reach out to me. I'm with it all the way.
Yes.
So
yes.
thank you, and you are most welcome. I'm gonna touch base with you afterwards because I wanted to do some other things for you, just on the strike, and just continue to be you. I will continue to watch these meditational posts that you put up. I'm going to continue to build with you. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Again, I am Nubi the Ear Hustler. You have been ear hustled. This is MarkusFree, and we are signing off. Thank you so much.
Love.